Hey everybody, welcome back to our image evaluation series. We've kind of gone through most of our positioning. There's still a few odds and ends that I'd like to go through. And then we're going to start something a little bit different. I hope you like it. I'll roll that out here in the next week or two, probably after Christmas sometime. Anyway, let's get started. Today we're going to talk about fingers. Fingers are pretty easy. So we're going to use the same PACEMAN acronym, and we'll go through these images and make sure we have everything we need to see and give you guys a good idea of what you need to see on finger x-rays and thumb x-rays. Okay. We have, for fingers, we shoot a PA oblique, and a lateral. With the thumb, it's a little bit different. We actually shoot an AP thumb, a PA oblique, and a lateral. That's the idea, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. The biggest thing I see in the images that come through is when people are shooting a finger, they usually shoot the entire hand, which is okay in the grand scheme of things. But we don't have to do that. We can collimate a little bit better and just get the area that we're looking at. But yeah, let's move on. Here we've got a PA. It looks like fourth finger, left markers there. So good job. Position is really nice. Actually, it's nice and straight. You'll note that we can see the adjacent fingers, right? It's very important that we include adjacent fingers when we're doing fingers, okay? We don't want to just shoot one finger. We want to be able to see a little bit of both side fingers, or if you're shooting a pinky, include that fourth finger, or when you're shooting a thumb, try to include the index finger. Just always try to include the adjacent finger. Okay. Area, yeah, we've included everything that we need to include. Now, on a finger, we need to include everything from the distal phalange right here, all the way down to where we start meeting the wrist bones right there. Okay. So yeah, this entire thing is considered a finger. It's not just the finger that we see on our hand. It actually goes through your hand all the way up to where it meets your wrist joint. So we want to include that entire finger, okay, along with the adjacent fingers. Collimation, we've done a really good job collimating on this one. Like I say, we've included the adjacent pinky right here, and we've included most of the adjacent third finger as well. Now you'll note that we've cut off a little bit there, and that's not the end of the world either. Just as long as you can see the adjacent fingers, you're in good shape. So we've got a marker. It's clearly marked with a left marker. Aesthetics, this is a nice x-ray, good contrast. We're able to see good joint spaces, right? Good bony cortical here. Periosteum is very nicely demonstrated. The difference between soft tissue and bone is nice, which gives us really good contrast. So very nice. Okay, so there's our PA. Let's move on to our PA oblique. Okay, oblique, we've rotated approximately 40 to 45 degrees. We're just getting a little bit different angle of the same finger. Position-wise, it's pretty good. We've got a little bit of superimposition right here, which is normal, okay, with our distal metacarpals here. Okay, very good. And yeah, position-wise, we're doing okay. Again, we've definitely included the fifth digit right here, and we've included parts of the third digit. Okay, we can see in the area, we can see distal all the way down to where we meet the carpal bones down here, okay, or the wrist joint. entire finger has been demonstrated. Okay, collimation's very, very nice collimation, which makes for a really, really nice picture. Marker, yep, we've got our marker there. Exposure wise, we're doing really good. It's a nice exposure, nice contrast. Like I said previously, you can see good differentiation between the soft tissue and bone. The periosteum is well demonstrated, and we can see the intermedullary spaces fairly well throughout all the fingers there, which is really, really nice. Aesthetically speaking, it's a good picture. Very, very nice PA oblique. Okay, let's move on to the lateral. Okay, now for the lateral, it's a little bit different because we're trying to get the adjacent fingers out of the way, right? So we get a clear view of the affected finger. So just by default, you're going to end up including other fingers, but you want to try and get those out of the way. Position-wise, we're in a really, really nice lateral projection right here. It's really, really good, actually. The area that we needed is fully demonstrated. We can see the finger distally up here on the distal phalange, and we follow that down all the way down to the wrist bone joint right here, the metacarpal joint right there. You'll note that most of our proximal metacarpals right here are superimposed over each other, and that's okay. We're not going to be able to separate those. Just as long as your distal phalanges are separated from the other fingers, you're in good shape. So exposure, it's a nice picture. You know there's a difference between tissue here. So of course the phalange that's out here by itself is going to be a little bit darker than the actual palm of the hand, which has the metacarpals in there. So that's going to be a little bit lighter. So that's to be expected. I've seen people use filtration systems to make those more uniform, but this is a good picture. I wouldn't worry about that at all. We've included everything that we need to include. Collimation wise, it's nice. Very nice collimation. On fingers, I've seen people over collimate where they're just including just the finger. And to me, those are a little harder to read. Plus, you don't get any type of comparison with another finger. If there's a question with a subtle fracture or something, sometimes you can't see those real well unless you're comparing it to another finger. So always include adjacent fingers, okay? But yeah, nice lateral image. Now remember, guys, when we're shooting fingers, we definitely want to do all three pictures. So PA oblique, and a lateral. Okay, I see a lot of images come through where there's just a couple images. We want to be able to give the provider and the radiologist all three views of the finger so they can make the best judgment call that they can on what they're seeing. So very good. Let's talk about a thumb a little bit here. Okay, like I said, thumbs are a little bit different. On the PA, we're actually going to do an AP where we're actually turn the thumb over like this and we're shooting down at it like there. Now we can do it like this, but that's going to give us some OID, which is going to magnify our thumb, which isn't the end of the world either. But normally we shoot these AP. So you're going to invert the hand, turn the hand over, and shoot the thumb like that. Okay. So let's run through these real quick. I know they're all on one. Here we've got the AP. Okay. Here we've got the oblique, and here we've got the lateral. Okay. So collimation wise, it's very, very nice. We have included the adjacent finger on the oblique right here, but not the lateral, which again, not the end of the world. Just remember, we need to include the entire thumb, and the thumb is more than just to where the thumb meets the hand. Okay, we've got to push it all the way through to where the the thumb meets the carpal metacarpal joint right here. Okay, we want to include the entire thumb, right? On every picture it's included. We want to be able to see that joint space right there. And on each picture we can see that. So very, very good. We all know it's marker, it's annotated correctly, it's marked well. Exposure wise, really, really good. You can see that there is a fracture through the distal phalange right here, right there. You can see a step off right here, the periosteum, a fracture right there. And you can also see the fracture running through right there on the lateral view. Okay, so yeah, if we're able to see that, we've done a good job with our exposure. The contrast is really, really nice. So very, very good. Aesthetics, it's a nice thumb. You know, I would not redo this thumb for any reason. So we get a clear view of the thumb. The only thing we could do a little bit different on the lateral is maybe include the adjacent finger, but not the end of the world. You know, that makes more sense on fingers 2 through 4 when to include an adjacent finger. It's a little bit harder with the thumb, but it is doable. So work on your thumbs, you know, figure out whether you like to do the AP version or the PA, which is going to magnify your thumb a little bit. Yeah, just whatever works for you is great, whether you do a PA or an AP. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to include a couple fractures that we've had come through our office in the last little while. So this one right here, that is a boxer's fracture, is what they call a boxer. It's from hitting something really hard. And I'll never understand it. You know, kids hitting brick walls and doors and, you know, putting their hand through drywall just because they're so upset about something. And I understand about getting upset, but man, if you're going to do that, hit something soft. You know, hit a pillow or a bed or something, because this can be the result of hitting something hard. It's a complete fracture through the metacarpal right there, which is painful, and sometimes they need to be dealt with surgically. So next time you get mad and want to punch something, find something soft. Okay. Yep. Just FYI, that's called a boxer's fracture. Okay. And then this one, I believe this patient, I don't remember what happened with this patient. If it was a dirt bike accident, maybe, where he was holding on to the handlebars and hit something extremely hard and came to a sudden stop. But yeah, it totally blew up the palm of his hand. He's got fractures in all four metacarpals, and pretty bad fractures. I'm assuming this needed to be fixed surgically. He's got some sharp edges coming through there. It's got to be fairly painful, but that's a pretty good fracture. You know, sometimes we see fractures like that, which is interesting for us, bad for the patient, but it's kind of fun on our side a little bit. You know, the hard part is getting to where you can image these people without giving them much pain. So, you know, as technologists and technicians, that's our job, to figure out the best way to do things to make it easier on the patient and still get the views that we need to get. So, and then I left a little meme here at the bottom. Gotta love Willy Wonka. Tell me again how you fell. So you look at this, it's a boxer's fracture, right? And I assume you could probably get that fracture from falling and landing on your fist, maybe. But most of the time when you see a fracture like that, it's because they've hit something really hard. And, you know, sometimes it's interesting, the excuses you get. It's kind of funny. But leave it to Willy Wonka to let us know, yeah, you probably didn't fall, you probably hit something hard. Anyway, guys, so this is what you need to see on a finger, okay? Make sure you're trying to include the adjacent finger. Figure out whether you want to do an AP thumb or a PA thumb. Either one is okay. But remember, don't just shoot the finger. Make sure you include an adjacent finger. and make sure you're including all the way from the distal phalange all the way down to the carpal metacarpal joint. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching this. I hope that you guys are getting stuff out of these little videos and making yourself a better x-ray procurer of x-rays. Anyway, please let me know if you need any help with anything. Like I said, I'm going to move on to a little bit different project coming up next. It's going to be kind of cool, where we'll take an x-ray and figure out what's wrong with it and figure out what we need to do to make that better. Okay. And I will roll that out probably after Christmas sometime. It'll be fun for people, fun for me. So, and I hope it's helpful for you too. I certainly wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great holiday season and get geared up for the new year and hit it with everything we got. So anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. We will talk to you all really soon. Bye.